Hello and welcome to another Maths Fluency video. We've had loads of great ideas over the past few weeks about how you can practice your maths fluency, getting those skills with numbers really quick and having some facts that you know and being able to use those facts in different situations. And today we've got another activity focusing on how we can use the things we know and think about them in a different way and solve some problems. So let's jump in and let me show you what we're going to do. So I want to introduce you today to the rule robot. Now you may have seen one of these before, you may have even used one of these before and practiced maths fluency with one, but even if you have, this is a great activity to come back to again, and it's really good for lots of different things to do with fluency. It's good for spotting patterns, it's good for getting your calculations really quick, and it's good for problem solving, making your brain use what it already knows in a different way. So you can draw yourself one of these out, and that's part of the fun bit. Once you've drawn one of these, then you're good to go. And you'll see that the center of our robot, we've got a rule, and then we've got an in, and we've got an out. So all you really need are three boxes joined up with an in, an out, and a space for a rule, but great if you want to design your own robot as well. Now what I've done as well is I've just on some pieces of paper, I've written out the numbers 1 to 20. Okay, so I've got them all here. I just wrote them out really quickly in some nice bold pen, and then I've cut them out into squares so that I can put them in there. It's quite helpful as well. You can do this with post-it notes, or you can include just some blank pieces of paper to fill in this middle bit as well. I'm going to use post-its just so it's really clear that I'm writing the rule in the middle. So let me show you some examples of how you can use a rule robot to practice your fluency. To start off with, you can just do some basic addition. So let's take, for example, this rule, okay? Pop it in there, and let's say our rule is going to be to add 2. Okay, so nice, straightforward rule. So the idea of a rule robot is that this then can work with lots of different numbers. So let's say I draw from my cards the number 7. Oh, fantastic. Now, my job with the robot is to go, well, if 7 goes in and the rule is to add 2, what's going to come out? And I know that my answer is 9. So you could either find the number 9 in your cards, or you could just say it out loud to yourself. 7, oh, add 2, that's going to give me 9. What about another one then? Can add 10, 10 add 2, oh, I know that one's 12. And you can keep going and you can see how quick you get. And of course you can make this rule more interesting as well. Maybe you want to do a subtraction. So you can have a new rule in there, and maybe your subtraction could be take away 8. That's something that's maybe a bit more tricky. And you give yourself, oh, there we go, I've drawn 15. Now, here's a chance for me to use what I know and to problem solve, to think about it. I know that 5 less than 15 gets me to 10, and then I need to take 3 more off because 3 and 5 make 8. And I know that 10 take away 3 is 7, so I know that my answer is going to be 7. Okay, so you can practice your calculations just like that. But that's not the only thing you can do with a rule robot, because the great thing about a rule robot is that you can work both in and from out. So this time, well, let's keep that rule, take away 8, and let's put in the number 5 in the out box. All of a sudden, we're now using problem solving skills, because we're thinking to ourselves, hang on, well, something take away 8 gives me 5. And I need to go backwards through the rule robot, and I need to think to myself, okay, well, that something take away 8 gives me 5. So if I add that 8 back onto my 5, I'm going to get to the number that I put in. And so if we do 5 add 8, well, we know that 2 more gets us to 10, and then 3 more would get us to 13. So my number there that's going in would be 13. And I can check that that makes sense going from in to out now. 13 take away 8 equals 5. Right, one more thing I want to show you with the rule robot that you can practice, and that is working without a rule. So you could, for example, let's leave that 5 there in the out, and we could just put some numbers in the in. And now our job is a completely different job. Now we're working out, well, what is the rule? How did we get from 20 to 5? And I know that the rule, I can think about it, well, okay, take away 10 would get me to 10, take away another 5, that would get me down to 5. So my rule must be take away 15. I wonder what my rule would be though, if instead of 5, I picked 6. Well, I could work that out again, just like I did before, or I could start to think of a pattern. Well, hang on. If I know that 20 take away 15 gave me 5, well, 6 is just one more than 5. So I must have not taken away quite as much. I must have taken away 14. I wonder what would happen if I changed my out number to 7. Oh, well, I can start to see a pattern now. That's one more than 6, so I must have taken away one less from 20. 20 take away 13 equals 7, and I could keep going. 20 take away 12 equals 8, and so on. Okay, so there's lots of ways you can use this rule robot, and what it's getting you to do is think about the connections between numbers and use those number facts you already know to practice using them in different ways. Right, so really simple task there. All you need then is a rule robot, which you can draw with a box for in, a box for out, and a space for a rule in the middle. You need some numbers from 1 to 20, and you can go higher if you want to make it a bit trickier for yourself. And you could do with a piece of paper, some cut out pieces of paper, or some post-it notes that you can write the rule down in the middle so that you can take them on and off. Okay, so have a go with the rule robot. I'll be really interested to see if anyone can come up with other games that they've played or some fun facts that they've been able to work out using their rule robots. Right, we'll leave it there for now. Fantastic. Well, I hope you have lots of fun with those rule robots. This is something that you can really play with and you can think of lots of different ways to use. And it's a really good chance for you to practice thinking about the facts that you know, the number facts you know, in different ways, working backwards, working forwards, and realizing that actually all of these numbers are connected and being able to see that and think about that really quickly in your head. So hope you have fun with that. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you again soon.